It's finally done, guys. What an absolute massive effort from so many different people. The 2500 single cab Ram is now done and dusted. So last time you guys seen this car, it was down at the Brisbane 4-wheel drive show. It literally got thrown together as quick as we could by the team at EC Off-Road so that we could have it down at the show for you guys to come and have a look. Now that was in March, guys, it's now May. So it's been 2 months. It's been in there getting wired up correctly, finishing the canopy setup. Since then, we've gone out and done a sneaky shakedown trip. Now, you're gonna get to see this next week. We take the big girl up to 5 Rocks for a proper shakedown. We've added a few little things in, and now I'm pretty safe to say it's 99% done. So, I'm really excited to show you this one, guys. Let's rip in. So we are up here at the beautiful Mugra Dam. We're actually shooting a tow test with the Ford Lightning versus the Rebel. So you'll have to wait and see how that content goes. It'll be coming out very shortly. But if this is your first time seeing our channel or seeing this build, guys, there are a couple of other build videos. We'll link them in the description. You can go and check them out first. This started as a 2023 single cab 2500 Tradesman. It was white, it was ugly, and it was bog stock. So we had the team from AusMV import one of these into the country for us, and we basically took what was a complete bog stock vehicle and we've turned it into what I believe could be the ultimate touring vehicle in Australia. Now look, we've had the 79 series dual cab, which pretty much was the ultimate touring rig. And look, I think the reason we keep trying to go bigger, better and badder is to push the boundaries and see what can we build that really is the ultimate touring vehicle. Now, we've got plenty of other builds on the go at the moment. We've got the Hilux, we've got some wheeling content with the old Disco. So we like to bring you guys content from everything from $5,000 builds through to these big $300,000 builds. Now look, guys, this might not be the vehicle that everyone is going to have, but I can tell you there is a lot of the American vehicles being built right now and getting pumped out of the sheds, and that's only on some of the local builders on the Gold Coast. For anyone who says it's unachievable and you can't afford it, I'm just a plumber who grew up in Brizzy. I was a plumber for 10 years, guys. I had D22s, I had Tritons, I had Patrol, I've had 76s, 79s, and we've worked our way up. So it is absolutely achievable to anyone if this is your dream and you go after it. So let's start at the front, guys. I think the first thing you'll notice is the big color change. Now, we covered this in the build video, but we did go the Nardo Grey. Once it was all freshly painted, guys, we took it straight up to the team at Slick As, and we got the Bush Wraps Pro kit installed. So I'm gonna whip over there now, check out some of that content. Okay guys, so we are down here at Slick As. Every single vehicle we build gets the Bush Wraps kit on it straight away. We're going to town on this one. So not only are we doing the doors and guards like we do on all the vehicles, we're gonna do a full bonnet, roof, canopy doors, the whole 9 yards. This is the main touring truck you will have seen in our other videos. Over in America, the poor Ram copped an absolute hiding. The only thing that has saved that car time and time again is the Bush Wraps panels. It really is as good as everyone carries on about. We dropped it off here the other week before the Brizzy show. We got the decal on just so it looked finished for the show. A lot of smoke and mirrors for the Brizzy show. I tell you, the spotties aren't wired, the canopy isn't wired, but we got it down there just so you guys could have a look. So believe it or not, this decal is actually gonna have to come off, and then full Bush Wraps kit. We'll put the decal back on. The door was actually supposed to be painted a satin black. Well, we rushed it through. We got a gloss black. So we're gonna put a matte Bush Wraps over the top of that. Wait till you see the difference. It's actually crazy. So that'll be a matte black, which should tie in a lot better. So they've got a couple of different model kits. 1 year, which is basically if you've got one big trip planned for the year, you're going up to Cape York. I think it's even called the Cape Kit. You can whack it on, go do your big trip, come home, peel it off. and you won't have any of the scratches from up in the bush. They got a 5-year kit, and then we're doing the full 10-year kit here, which means they wrap right around all the seams. The other kits, guys, are literally DIY. We've got it on the Rebel, we've got it on the giveaway Luxy. You can literally sit there for a weekend at home with the boys, have a couple of beers, install the kits, and save your vehicle from getting destroyed with the old pinstripes. Since we did a full custom paint job, we're going to town. We've got the 10-year kit going on here, so it's 100% covered. And I know where we're going to take this thing. It is an American truck. It is this much wider than every other car going down the tracks, so we're going to need it more than ever. We'll drop it off for the team. Good luck. There you go, you can see just how much work goes into the Pro kit. The girls are absolute wizards when it comes to installing this, and I think it sort of speaks for itself. It gives it that little bit of extra pop, and at the end of the day, it's pretty cheap insurance given where we're going to take this thing. You'll see as we walk around, there is already a few little scratches on it, which you're going to find out why next weekend, but without having this bush wraps kit on, I can tell you it would look a lot worse already. So let's start up the front, guys. We'll work our way through the truck, underneath, in the cab, and then I'm going to give you a look into what I believe is probably the ultimate touring setup for a Canopy. Up front, we do have the Outback Kidders bar. We had one of these on the 2500. Super clean, tidy, and then of course you get everything you need on a bull bar. We've got the nice little hoop here with the 3 factory mounts for the Light Force spotties. We're running 3 of the brand new Light Force Beast lights. These things are absolutely incredible. There's a couple of different settings with the Light Force Beasts. You've got spot, so you've got that good distance, spread, and then you can have both on at once, which gives you a really, really nice vision when you're driving at night. Having the 3, plus the light bar up top. We've tested this and it literally turns night into day. So I couldn't be more happy with the look of the new Beast lights up on the front there. Now look, on the Outback Kidders bar, it is a carbon tank winch. It is a 15,000 pound winch. So we've gone pretty large. She's no skinny girl. There's a bit of weight behind the big ram. So the 15,000 pound winch should do the trick. Having a good quality rated recovery point on the front of your vehicle is extremely important. So that's all factory with the Outback Kidders bar. We got the Outback Kidders bash plate, nice thick 4mm plate underneath there, which is going to provide quite a lot of protection, especially to some of the steering components. So all in all, guys, couldn't be happier with the front bar. Then as we sneak up the top here, color-coded ram in the Nardo grey to match. We've blacked out the rest of the grille. Really wanted to just go black and silver. Obviously that's sort of the Explore Life colors. I'm a little bit boring. I don't like your fluoro greens and blues and reds. I like it to be a little bit more subtle. The factory lights are pretty hideous, guys. So we've gone with the Morimotos, which is just more of a blacked out look. You get a nice little daytime running light. They are just a much cleaner and nicer light, which really just finishes off the front end. All right, as we sneak around the side, guys, we got a set of, they're called Bushwhacker flares. Now, I wanted the nice clean look. These look like they're factory. It doesn't look like this is an aftermarket flare. Obviously color-coded to match the paintwork. We've gone with a little red decal, which we've just got some subtle red throughout the vehicle. Your GME aerial, the Bush company's got the subtle red bracketry. So we went with a little bit of red. That's my one little color fleck that we've got throughout the car. Very subtle, but I think it sort of ties in nice We've also got the AEV snorkel, guys. Now look, any touring vehicle needs a quality snorkel. I'm personally a big fan of a ram head forward facing in the plastic or molded compound. I don't love stanos. You get that big suction noise. It's good for every now and again and around town, and I would do it on a build that isn't going to be a long tourer. So this one's going to get driven some stupid distances. So stoked with the AEV snorkel. We'll pop the bonnet and give you a quick little look under there while we're here. All right, guys, under the bonnet, making me look extra short. The Ram is running the big 6.7 litre Cummins turbo diesel. When it comes to power modifications, it's on the list. It's probably a long way down the list. I just want to get out there, use it. There's one or two other modifications that I do want to do first. I'm more than happy with the amount of power it's producing. All we've really done underneath here, we've got some Outback Kidders bracketry. Now this is a great little bracket that mounts with the factory points that gives you really easy accessible fuse mounting. We've also got a little bracket off the back here for our isolators, front and rear winch. Pretty handy. It's right where you need it, guys. Not sort of hidden or tucked away. If you need the winch, you can bang it on where you go. Outback Kidders has got some really nice little bracketry for your American trucks that just makes everything simple and where it should be, not hidden or tucked away, easily labeled so you know everything that's going on. But that's about it under the bonnet, guys. We've kept it pretty simple for now. Let me know in the comments, any of you guys who are running the Ram, any advice, any tips. What would you guys do? I've been sort of pulled in two different directions at the moment, so I'm really trying to make my mind up. But right now, she's got more than enough horsies to go where we want to go, tow what we want to tow. So stay tuned. That's really going to be stage 2 of this build, but for now, I'm happy. Wheels and tyres, I've gone something completely different. No, I haven't. I've gone exactly the same as all my other cars, guys. We are running the BF Goodrich Mud Terrain KM3s. Now look, these are the toughest tyre on the market, in my opinion. Probably coming up on 6 years, filming with the Explore Life. I had them for another 5 years before the Explore Life even existed. Now, I love going to mud terrain on my big tourers. Even though I'm doing more kilometres, they have not let me down. On the last 4 or 5 touring vehicles now has been the KM3s. They are a 37 by 13.5 R18. They handle well in the wet for a mud terrain tyre, and they are just extremely, extremely tough. And the amount of times I've driven past every other brand on the side of the road with a flat, you will not see me run anything else. Wheels, guys, we've gone the ROH Assaults. Now, I'm just going to be open and honest here. For the American truck and these ones, we did have these forged because I like the Assault wheel. ROH are working on bringing them out. If you want a set of ROH Assaults for your Ram, send them a message, flood their inbox. I know it's on the list and it will be coming soon. I think they're just trying to roll through and get a couple of the more popular Australian dual cabs out first. But super stoked with the ROH Assaults, guys. These are obviously all load rated, same with the tyres to handle the extra weight of the big heavy American truck. Righto, let's rip into suspension. Now, we obviously have the 2500 dual cab in America. We really got to learn the exact setup that we want to run over there. So we had a 4 to 5 inch lift kit with 35 inch tyres, was the first setup we had in Australia. It was a little bit tall for what we really needed. The 35s were a little bit small. So we actually lowered the vehicle down to a 3 inch and we went with a 37 over in America. And I found that combination to be perfect. Handled really nice, good off-road, and the suspension was really nice. It gave it that really nice just daily drive feel. So all of the suspension has been sorted by Outback Kidders. Now guys, Outback Kidders are the biggest Fox BDS dealer in Australia. There's a few other guys that I think are bringing it in, but it's all the extra bracketry and componentry and just the knowledge that Mike from Outback Kidders has with the American trucks, that instead of just getting handed a set of shocks and go, hey, chuck these in your truck, he really knows exactly what you need. So we are running the BDS 3 inch kit. Obviously we got the 3 inch coil in here. We got a little bit fancy before they went in. We dropped them down to Ballina Smash Repairs. We got them colour-coded Nardo grey. We had a bit of time up our sleeves and we were getting the flares painted, so we thought, why not get them done as well. Now, underneath here, guys, what you'll see too, looks like a black strip of rubber. These are from Outback Kitters as well. These are Mike's Sumo springs. Essentially, guys, it's a rubber spring that sits in between your coil. It sort of takes a little bit of that boatiness out of it and just gives it that extra comfort on your ride. So we are running the Fox DSC, 2.5 remote reservoir. The DSC is dual compression. You've got your high speed compression and your low speed compression. I was stoked with the shocks. They performed extremely well in America. As part of the 3-inch kit, guys, you also do get the aftermarket steering stabilizer arms at the front, which make a massive difference, especially with the bigger tires. Then we've also got the aftermarket radius arms. So you've got a much more heavy duty radius arm. We got a little bit carried away there and gave them a little paint job as well. Once again, keeps it subtle, but ties it all in. So nothing too creative here. We sort of did all the testing and playing around in America. I know this is a bulletproof setup now, so I couldn't be more happy. We were lucky enough to meet the BDS team at the Brizzy Four-Wheel Drive show. Mike brought them down and introduced us to them. So if you're chasing a good quality suspension setup for your American vehicle, get in touch with the boys. They really do know what they're doing. I'm confident now that we've completely dialed in this setup, and I'm keen to get out there and test it. While we're on suspension, guys, I'm just going to whip into the back here. Fox 2.5s in the rear as well. This is the exact same setup that we had over in America, guys. We are running the full air in the rear. So coil out, straight in the bin. This is one thing that I love about the American Rams. Your Fords, your Chevys, leaf spring rear, you can change it, but it is a mammoth amount of work. The Ram, you've either got those bulletproof coils, which are extremely good for travel and comfort, but you can also throw them straight in the bin and you can chuck the full air in. Now, the reason we've done the full air is because there's a lot of benefits. Airbag Man hooked us up, 2 Airbag Man compressors, 2 air tanks. So these things have got plenty of air capacity, meaning we can pump them up and down nice and quick. So a couple of the benefits, guys. Number one is when you're towing different weights, you can actually just lower the airbags down, lift them up, pick your tow ball up. The other thing is you don't ever have to adjust your ride. So you put the heavy trailer on the back, you can pump the bags up to suit. You put a light trailer on the back, you can lower a little bit of air out. They give you a lot of adjustability. When you're off-road, you pull up to a beautiful campsite, I can lower one side of the truck, I can lower the other side of the truck, which really helps to level out the rooftop tent. But the main reason I went full air in the rear, guys, is because have a look at the height of this canopy. We are trying to build something that is practical, that you're going to use day in, day out. So right now, this height is, it's not practical. It makes everything very hard, very difficult to use. When you're living out of it, we've got the ability now to drop these bags down, which I'm going to do for you now, and just have a look at the difference. So we're up about here for the tray. Let's drop them down for you. Push of a button, we've dropped from up here all the way down to here, which is a good 200 mil of drop. We're almost down on these 37s. While we're talking about this, the reason I didn't go 40-inch tires, because I was very, very tempted, and that's what I was originally planning to do. The 40-inch tires doesn't allow the tray to drop down far enough to make it practical. So we'll get into the canopy in a minute and it'll all make sense when you see the kitchen setup, but the amount of adjustability in those bags is absolutely incredible. They still flex really well for an airbag. Now look, this truck isn't built to drop wheels down below the sills and have a full complete carry-on. It's not a rock crawler, it's a tourer. This thing still wheels. We put the 2500 through its paces in America, and I can assure you that we will be putting this thing to the test. I kind of feel like I have to take this up the Telegraph track just to prove to myself that this is as capable as my 79 series. If it can't do the telly, may as well throw it in the bin and call it a day and try and build something else. Because at the end of the day, I'm not building the big American truck just to have this big overcompensating vehicle. It really has been thought out and designed to tour Australia and to get to all the remote spots. It is a little bit wider than the 79 series. I know I'm going to pick up a few extra scratches, and I guess what we're trying to work out is a few extra scratches worth the extra load capacity, the bigger motor, and just the comfort that you get out of this vehicle. And I think it's going to perform extremely well off-road, but I'm keen to find out. Interrupting this episode, guys, how would you like the opportunity to win a brand new PATRIOT X2 Tourer for free?
For free. It doesn't get any better than this, guys. It's only 2 months in, so the odds of winning the best you're going to get.
They're bloody good, I'm not going to lie to you. So look, guys, the Explore Dream platform's all about us being able to give you guys epic prizes that we use all the time to get out and live the Explore Dream. We've taken the PATRIOT campers all the way through the top end of Australia.
Around America.
They really are the ultimate when it comes to an off-road camper. Now look, if you sign up for free this month, next month you'll already have double entries into winning the next prize.
Oh, the Hilux.
So literally turnkey package on that Lux, ready to go to Cape York. Whoever wins it is also going to win the chance to grab the keys and come along on an adventure with me and Navs. We're going to take you on a trip, guys. So if it's something you're interested in, not only do you win epic prizes, you got discount codes that will save you hundreds and thousands of dollars, some exclusive merch, and we're planning some pretty cool meetups for all of our members. So if you want to check it out, the link is in the description below. But enough of us dribbling. Back to the episode. Okay guys, while we're here, the other thing you can't see underneath, the Brown Davis long range fuel tank. Now look, when you're gonna do any remote touring in Australia, a factory tank is just never going to cut it. So out with the old, in with the whopping 220 litres of diesel. It is a replacement tank that is gonna allow us to travel those longer distances. It's gonna allow us to skip those fuel stations that you know look dodgy and you really don't want to stop at. But most of all, when you're doing the remote touring, you really do need the range. So the big Brown Davis tank underneath, letting us go that little bit further. Before we get too carried away down the back of the vehicle, roof rack, it's something that I definitely wanted to have on this vehicle so we can put all our accessories up there. Now, one thing with a lot of the American trucks is all the little bits and pieces and bracketry aren't always over here. So that's where working with the team like Kale from EC Off-Road, who works on these things day in, day out, they know exactly what to do. So single cab roof rack was not something we were able to get. The boys custom fabbed. We took the dual cab backbone system. We lopped the end off. Instead of the 3 mounting feet, we went down to 2, which is all we needed for the single cab. Shaped it so it looks factory, repainted it, and then up on top, guys, we managed to grab one of the 79 series Rhino Rack Pioneer platforms, which is the perfect platform to add all the extra accessories that we need. The theme of the last 2500 was really the amber look. This time, being Aussie, we've just kept it with the clears, guys. We've gone the 50-inch Light Force light bar up on top, 2 of the 10-inch Light Force light bars, 1 either side, guys. These are all controlled nice and easy by our Switch Pro in the vehicle, which I'll give you a look at. They're mainly designed for when you're pulling up to camp, you're driving in, you have your side lights on. It's surprising how much you do actually use these when you've got them. Nothing like driving down the beach trying to find your campsite and you miss it. You end up 10 kilometers past your camp. So these are extremely handy, guys. If you don't have a set, even if you only put one on the driver's side and you can drive down the beach to find it, whatever it might be. We've also banged the MaxTrax mount, so we are running 4 of the MaxTrax Extremes. This time we've gone for something different. We always run the OG orange, but because I was trying to get a little bit fancy with my color coding, we've gone with the sort of the graphite and the black teeth on the Extreme. I like carrying 8 MaxTrax with the big American vehicles, mainly because I feel like if you do go down or you get extremely bogged, 4 MaxTrax will always get you up, and then you can have another 4 MaxTrax to sort of create a road. If you've got 8 MaxTrax, you can get up, you can get onto the road, and then you can literally crawl your way out. We've done it a couple of times now, so I'm not sure whether we mount another set up top here. If we're towing a trailer, I will definitely make sure the trailer's got another 4. Slightly overkill, but if you've done it before, you'll know what I'm talking about. A Maxtrax road will get you out of some seriously sticky situations. And the last thing, guys, up on the roof rack, we've got a Rhino rack pivoting aerial. So it's literally just a grub screw. Up she goes. I've got it sat down on a little bit of an angle at the moment. It still works, it's still functional, but it's the same height as my rooftop tent. So I know exactly what I can and can't get under. When we go on our remote touring trips, undo, pivot it up, away you go. We are running the little GME. This is the 2.1 decibel. The 2.1 is better for your mountain country. What this does is basically creates a bubble, is the best way to describe it. So it can actually throw over some of the hills. Your tall, longer whips, the 6.4, I believe it is. I've got one of them tucked in behind the seat. When you're on a trip, a lot of the time you're in convoy and you don't have too much distance, where the 2.1 works really well. If we're gonna need the extra distance, pivot it up, one little grub screw, screw on the big dog, and that'll get us a little bit more long distance. The 6.4 is more like throwing a sheet, so you get distance. 2.1 is like a bubble. If sometimes your UHF is playing up, jump on the GME website, guys. All the information's on there. It does make a big difference having the right aerial on top of your truck. I'll show you the XRS when we get inside the cab, but let's creep around the back of this truck. This masterpiece on the back, it is the GCI Tray-Tech tray and canopy setup. It is a jack-off canopy, which is pretty cool. I've got about 2.6 meters of bed here, so I can literally chuck my 4 legs in, lower the bags, drive out, and this goes back to being a massive flatbed ute. So if we want to put a couple of dirt bikes up on top, if I want to use it for something as silly as going to the tip or rubbish, the jack-off canopy just gives you that versatility. I love the way that they shape and mold the headboards to suit the vehicle. It sort of gives it that factory look. Just shy of 150 litres. I think we're at 145 litres of fresh water in this vehicle. We've got 90 in the headboard and another 50 5-litre tank underneath in front of the trundle drawer. We got the AdBlue, we got the diesel, we've got the water filler on the other side, guys. I love that these are a flush mount filler. They were on my last truck as well. Super, super easy to use. Absolutely massive trundle drawer here, guys. It's not a drop down, it is a drawer. Another massive thing that I love with the GCI, everything is central locking. So when I lock the car, everything on this locks, which is just so handy if you've had a canopy before and you've got to run around with your keys, and what you do is you never lock it. That's what happens, and you run the gauntlet of someone opening your drawers and stealing your shit. One of these on each side. Massive drawer, super handy. On the back, guys, we've just got the same again, but a little bit smaller. In here, I keep all my hoses, the fittings for the back. While I've got this fitting, I may as well give you a look. I'm still packing this vehicle. So once we do the big touring trip, that's where all the spares, recovery gear, all the little bits and pieces that you want, tool kits, everything starts getting jammed in these drawers. Check this out while we're talking about it. This is how we access that 145 litres. Super simple, probably one of the best options I've seen. You literally clip it on, twist it, and bang, you've got running water. All I've got to do is flick it on at my Red Vision, and that is pumped pressurized water. So super handy, and look, it's clean, it's neat, it's flush. I'm a big fan of that rather than having a physical tap hanging off the back. As we creep around the back, guys, we may as well keep it dancing. This was really where customization and chatting to the team at GCI was going to come into play. Do I go a monster canopy? I could have gone a horse of a canopy, like two meters, plus have my spare wheels on the back of the tray. I opted to try and keep the weight down, keep all that weight forward over my axles. I didn't really need any more space in the canopy than what I had in America. So this is exactly the same size, the 1700 long canopy, as what I had on my dual cab, which has given me this massive amount, nearly a meter of deck space. This comes in really handy. It's sort of the one thing we found with the American truck is you've got nowhere to put firewood, there's nowhere to put your wet stuff. If you've got any really big bulky items, there's nowhere to put it. So now we've got it. We've put the tray sides on as well. One thing I love about the tray sides, guys, no latches hanging out. They're gonna get caught on trees. They're all simply molded into the side, really neat and tidy. Nice tray sides. We'll drop them down and I'll just give you a little look at the back deck. As you can see, plenty of deck space. Good spot to put swags, which means I don't have swags inside the canopy or up on the roof. Nav's going to be happy about that. Nav's going to be in a swag this year while I'm up in the palace. The other thing we decided to go a little bit different this year is I decided not to run dual spares. Touch wood, like I said, I've never had a problem with the BF Goodrich tyres. So after nearly a decade now, I'm confident that I can get away with having one spare. One spare should get me out of trouble. Or I've completely jinxed myself and I'm gonna get 2 flats on the next trip, but I really hope that doesn't happen. So we went with the 137-inch spare on the back. This means I've got a lot more space now. So I ummed and ahed about what to put here. They sort of, the factory GCI tray setups had a jerry can holder here. We sort of took the concept of the jerry can holder, extended it out, and what we've ended up with is this massive lockable storage box. I can load it up with jerry cans. We've had 3 of those servo firewood bags in here, so I can lock all my firewood up, means it's not gonna get pinched off the back of the ute. I can put all my wet gear in here. Now, am I 100% sold on this box? Time will tell. I also actually use this as a step to get up into the rooftop tent. So it is a bit of a multi-purpose box. I think time will tell on the road whether we love it, hate it, or whatnot. On the spare, guys, of course, we've gone with the Explore Life rear wheel bin bag. If you've never seen this product before, we sort of designed these out of necessity. Being on the road, traveling for years, we found, firstly, a lot of them fade and sag and sort of look like a saggy. Let's be honest. The other thing we found was we always had busted zips and the lid would never shut properly, so we'd have rubbish spewing out. So 2 latches, guys, simply lift that one up, and we've got a bin tucked in here. So this is just your Bunnings bin. You can literally grab that one out. It's full of rubbish at the moment. Empty it. You don't have to get covered in dust and dirty. Lift this latch back up, bang, chuck it straight back in. The other thing we did that's sort of different is we've reinforced the sides and the front, which means it's always gonna hold its shape and look good on the back of your 4-wheel drive. I can't stand seeing a beautiful 79 or an expensive American build and it's got this faded, saggy thing on the back. Anyway, guys, rear wheel bin bags are online if you want to check them out. Let's creep up top. Let's check out the Palace, the home away from home. Home is where you park it. Let's have a look. So to get into the Palace, I have 2 ways. Either I just jump straight onto the back of the ute here, which is not that hard. I'm not an old fella just yet. And then pop the latches and away we go. Option 2 is, and this is one thing that I forgot to show you, I've got the trundle drawer, massive trundle drawer underneath. Now, this is a bit of a game changer, guys. If you've got a dual cab and you've got a trundle drawer, make sure you do up a nice stainless table to go on the top. We've got our kitchen set up on this side, which means we literally are in the kitchen, come around here. This is our prep bench. This is our bar. But predominantly, guys, it's just a massive prep bench for when we're cooking. The reason I'm calling it a game changer is because I didn't have this stainless top on the one in America. It's so much better having the top. So stoked to have that. The reason I was opening it is because I've got my Bush Company ladder. So we've also got in here a couple of extra ratchet straps, pegs for the awning, and I've got a nice sidewall for the Bush Company awning as well, which I'll show you in a minute. But we've got the ladder in there, which is extremely handy in the right place. When you're touring, you want everything to be sort of practical and where you need it. So I can lower this back down, guys, whip out the ladder. This can either go on the back, or if I've got the awning set up, guys, I can enter from the side of the vehicle. But let's just give you a little demo. Pull this one up. All right, just like that, ladder is out. Up we go. Can sort of use it to get on the back of the truck or use the ladder, whatever it might be. Bush Company, we've gone with the AX27, guys. This is the same rooftop tent that I had on the 79 series. We went the TX over in America on the dual cab. To be honest, I sort of fell in love with the TX. The TX is a double pop, which means you sort of open up like a rectangle. This one opens up like a triangle. Little bit lighter. I was trying to keep this vehicle a little bit lighter than the dual cab, and I'm a bit lazy. 2 latches, literally push this one up. With the Bush Company, you should know by now, all high quality canvas. The fit out on the inside of these rooftop tents is absolutely incredible. Nice little bracket here that means you're not having to sneak in behind your awning. And guys, that's it. That's the Bush Company done. When I say I was being lazy, I sort of prefer not to have that extra step. I literally do 2 latches, 2 spring poles, and that's it. I am away. Let me run you through a couple of the features why I keep coming back to the Bush Company. They are the best rooftop tent on the market. I'm throwing that out there. Good luck trying to debate with me because it's all the 1%ers, especially when you've been traveling as long as I have. This is extremely hard to beat. Dual skin canvas, guys. Straight away, it's one thing you'll notice is it is a double layered canvas. So, couple of benefits. When it's freezing cold, you're in here, you zip up both windows, and you can keep the heat in. It's got to get out 2 layers of canvas, so you stay a lot warmer in the freezing cold temperatures. When it's stinking hot, you wake up in the morning, guys, the sun hits the side of your rooftop tent. You've all known that. Then you start feeling the sun coming through. With the 2 layers of canvas, it's got to hit 1 layer, warms up, then it's got to hit the other layer. And what it means is you can sleep in longer. You can hide in the dark, and you'll know this is true if you camp with anyone who's got a Bush Company. I can be in bed an hour later than the other guys that are running some of the other brands. So super handy. Nice, massive, big windows, guys, with all your midgie proof, all the standard stuff. But for those really big extra storms and you're getting a lot of rain, nice big rain fly over the top, so you actually find most of this doesn't get wet, which is extremely handy when you're packing up. Most of the rain hits the massive rain fly, keeping this canvas dry. Now, when you're in a proper storm and it's coming in sideways, guys, that's the other benefit of having the dual skin canvas. I can put my rain flap down on the outside, zip up my midgie proof, and then I can zip up internally. Quality zips, and it's nice and dark in here as well, which is bloody handy. I'll open this up so we've got the light. Plenty of pockets which come in handy. Books, iPads. Sneak a laptop up in here just quietly. Nothing better than Netflix when you're on the road. Game changer for rooftop tents. If you don't have one of these, this will change your life. A Sirocco fan inside your rooftop tent. The rooftop tent is powered, guys, his and hers, 1 on each side, which is extremely handy. You don't need to blue with the missus. You can plug your phones in, you can charge multiple things, sit it in the pockets. It means you can also plug in the Sirocco fan, and we've also got lighting in here as well. Just about everything you need. Even had a couple too many beers perhaps, and you're looking for your water bottle. It's in the one spot. Everything you can think of, Dean's sort of done, and it really just creates a nice environment to live out of. All right, another great feature, guys, is when you put the Bush Company rooftop tent up on top, you don't lose your roof rack. Right now up on top, I'm running 2 of the roof rack mounts, which means I can put my surfboards up on top, and I've also got 2 of the solar panel brackets. So I'm running 2 Red Arc 120 watt solar panels. You can still open the rooftop tent up with 50 kilos on the roof. So that's a massive gain to be able to have 1.8 meters of rooftop tent still being able to be used as a roof rack and not wasting that space. So that pretty much wraps up the rooftop tent. Let's check out the awning. So we've gone with the Bush Company 270 XT Max. Now, Max means forward folding and rear folding. I put one of these on the 79 series, and honestly, I never looked back. The other benefit of lowering down the bags is even my short ass can just do the awning. It's a little bit of a stretch, but it's doable. So we grab the front rope, we walk this one around. Cool, so you want to do the front first, put a bit of tension on that, then we come around the back, chuck that one straight on there, tighten this up, and Bob's your uncle, bulk shade, guys, and protection from the rain. Now, after going to a 270 max when you're touring, you will probably never go back to a standard 270. The extra protection you get from the front end is massive. 270 max means you don't have a pole coming through here, you have two coming straight out. So if you've got a canopy, super handy because the canopy door goes straight up without hitting anything. Don't look in there, not yet, we're getting there. They're the toughest awning on the market. They are the strongest freestanding awning on the market, aircraft grade aluminium, heavy duty canvas. You've got your Velcro running all the way around. I'll show you that real quick while we are going. Once again, in the back drawer, nice and handy to get to. He's got two different types of walls. He's got your mesh walls, which is one of these, and then he's got a full fixed canvas wall. Straight onto the Velcro, work your way around. Have a look at the amount of shade we've just created. At the moment, the sun's coming directly in this way and it's throwing all the shade out there. Now, with one little wall, I've got plenty of shade. Now, because this is a pretty thick mesh, we've had this in the rain. You'll find with most rain, it'll give you good protection. If it's coming in sideways, you'll get hit with a little bit of a mist. So I think I'm gonna get one fixed wall and one mesh wall, which means I can always have shade or protection from heavy weather. Now, when you're touring on the road and you're living out of your vehicle, this is a bit of a game changer because it really does mean when big, bad weather comes through, you don't have to run and hide in your rooftop tent. You can chuckle a couple of these walls up. I can still use the kitchen area. I can still cook. I can still sit here, have a meal. This is probably a product that I should have been carrying for the last couple of years. So Dean's had these for a little while now. They are in stock. I'm gonna grab one more. You can zip these together. You'll see he's got this side piece here, which means you can either zip them together, or the reason he's got this side bit is if you're gonna butt it up to your car, you've got this touching your paintwork instead of having the zipper touch your paintwork. So once again, with the Bush Company products, guys, it's all the little bits and pieces. A lot of them, they come just with a zip, which means that's gonna rub on your paintwork. Very handy, Dino. All right, guys, jumping into the cab. Let me give you a rundown. It is the Tradesman, but I tell you what, the finish is actually quite nice. All the American trucks by now, you know, they're just out of the box, ready to go. Massive leather center console with storage, 3 big cup holders, and then it's as simple as that. Bang, and you're into a 3-seater. So you get the 3 seats with the single cab, which is pretty cool. I opted to go old school. I didn't want the electronic 4-wheel drive, so I have the gear lever down here, guys. Just a little bit of peace of mind. I really wanted to build this truck as robust as possible so that we've got the reliability. Aftermarket stuff is probably what you want to see. We've got the Switch Pro up here, guys. 2 side lights, reverse light, turn the compressor on, bags up, bags down, individual left or right. We've got the Airbag Man controller down here. So if I just start this one up, the gauge comes on and I can see the pressure that I'm reading. The Legend mirror, this is from Mike from Outback Kitters, guys. Obviously you can't see anything out the back. So this gives me a camera out the back. I can actually scroll and move that camera up and down. I can literally hit record, and it's got an SD card in here that's going to record at 60 frames per second, so I can use it for my filming. I can use it if I'm in a crash or anything like that. You can run all of your switching on here. I've chosen not to do that because I already had installed the Switch Pro, but I can turn all my lights on and off from there. It really is just a good safety thing. Righto, the other thing that's aftermarket, guys, is we've got the light switches down here for the beast mode spotties on the front, so I can do that adjustable spread, spot, or beast mode. Next to that, guys, we've got the XRS Connect from GME. Best of the best. super user friendly, so many features. I run these in all of my vehicles now, and they have the best clarity out of any UHF that I have ever used. Being a single cab, this may be the biggest downfall. I may miss having the rear seats. Still plenty of room behind the seats. I've got another backpack here tucked in behind there, so you can literally do a duffel bag either side. Me and Nav had one in here on the last trip, which you'll see, but cockpit is pretty good. Okay guys, enough mucking around. Let's jump into the Canopy. You'll notice this is very, very similar to my Canopy over in America, and that is for good reason. It was so practical. Everything had a home. It worked. Nothing failed. I loved touring in that vehicle. So I've kept it about 90% the same. There's a couple of small differences. So let's run through it. We got the Evercool fridge, guys. Drawer fridge. This can be turned into a freezer on the big remote trip, so I can load that up with good quality beef, veggies, whatever I want. This used to be one big drawer, guys. And this also actually used to come out about another 75 mil. So I've shortened up this drawer system, and I've shortened up the kitchen on the other side. This one massive drawer was the drawer of death. When you didn't know where you wanted to put something, you threw it in this drawer. When you couldn't find something, you'd spend half an hour going through the drawer and it was somewhere down the bottom. The concept behind this is two big ass drawers that are actually usable, and everything's not going to get lost. The thought process was this is a his and hers wardrobe. I can definitely fit my whole bag in here. So that's what I was trying to achieve with these two drawers. Okay, up top, guys, we've got the EcoX soundbar. Now, we've got one of these on the back of the GU Patrol. We had a smaller version in the 79 series. These things are excellent. They all link together. If I find it's going to get in the way of some bulky items, I might pull it out, but I absolutely love it. Turn it on to the flick of a switch with the red vision, hit play on my phone, and bang, you've got instant music at your campsite. It really doesn't get too much better than that. Tucked away behind the EcoX speaker, guys, is a little white box. I've got fancy, I've got old, I've got soft. It's a little hot water unit, guys. Essentially, it's a little 12-volt hot water unit. It stores about 10 litres of hot water. I think it takes about 15 minutes to heat up. I haven't used it yet. I've heard good things. Plug it in there. The water heats up, I adjust the temperature, and I've got my shower. Hot water shower on the road. It's as good as it gets. I don't have a caravan that we're dragging around this time. There's nothing better than pulling up at the end of the day, a quick hot water rinse, and you're in bed all nice and clean. Nav is gonna lose his when he finds out we've got this. Nav's the biggest sook you'll ever actually meet when it comes to having to have a shower before bed, just saying. I'm keen to try this. Let me know if you guys have used one, what your thought is. I'm keen to see how this goes. As we start using it, I'll give you some real world feedback. Let's get into the powerhouse. It's a very similar system to the one we've run over in America, but we've got a couple of the new Red Arc products. So we've got a little mesh here, one to sort of show it off, two to just allow airflow into some of these electrical components. I love that no matter what hits or bangs into this when we're packing and we're off-road, it's not gonna break stuff. I can't stand looking into a Canopy and seeing spaghetti everywhere. Look how clean this is. Beautiful, good job team. We got the red vision system. We got one on this side, one on the other side. This controls everything. If you're not familiar with red vision, the best way to describe it is a snapshot of where you're at with the amount of power in your vehicle right now. There's nothing worse than being on a remote trip and running out of power. A good quality 12-volt system is one of the most important things you can have in a quality touring vehicle. If your fridges go warm, your meat goes off, you got to go home, you're done. So having the solar, the 220 watt panels feeding in, guys, with quality sun, I can get almost 20 amps charging into this system. We got the big inverter in here. You'll see why we're running the big inverter in a minute. It's a 3000 watt pure Synwave inverter, Red Arc of course. We've got the TVMS Rogue unit in there, guys, and we also have a new product from Red Arc. We've run in the last 3 vehicles. We've had the Manager 30. This truck, we've got the Manager 100. So the big dog, we literally are charging at about 90 amps an hour off of our alternator. It gives you the ability to just pump more charge into your batteries, which is what you're after. Batteries, guys, we are running two 200 amp lithium red arc batteries, all linked up, ready to go. Now, this amount of power means I'm pretty much self-sufficient for as long as I want. If we've got good sun, I probably don't need to drive for 4 or 5 days, maybe even a little bit longer. If we've got no sun, I'm still good for about 3 days, I would say, and then all I've got to do is turn the car on, put a little bit of extra charge in. I can pretty much go off-grid for as long as I want with this system. Plenty of storage here, guys, which is what I was after. Nice big open space. We did have a shelf on the last truck, but I got rid of that. Now, the other thing to mention was I told you I shortened this up. The reason I've shortened that up is because it means I can perfectly fit the Explore Life camp chairs down the side. Now, not just our camp chairs, guys, but it gives me a big space here to slide tables or long, bulky items. I can put a fishing rod holder in here, slide it all the way through. Before, I had space back there, but it was a little bit of dead space because of the return. By shortening this up, I managed to get a lot more space. So 2 camp chairs tucked straight down in there, along with a nice big table if we want to have a big prep bench, if we're cooking a roast or staying a little bit longer in camp. That pretty much covers off this side, guys. Epic 12-volt system. My pantry, the beer fridge, music, and a hot water system. Let's go check out the other side, the kitchen. We call this Nav side of town. He's the chef, he's the master chef, he reckons. But guys, this is the kitchen side. So as you can see, not a lot of space here for storage. Everything's taken up. We've got the fridge. We've gone for a Bushman fridge this time. It's the biggest fridge I can fit in this canopy, a whopping 130 litre fridge. Have a look at that. You get a little bit smaller freezer than we did in the Dometic, but I find if I need freezer space, I can turn the beer fridge into a freezer. Nice big crisper, big shelves, and they're a super efficient fridge, really clean. So we'll see how that goes, but so far I'm pretty stoked. On front of that, guys, we have the Explore Life fridge organizer. We got our morning coffee cups up here, Nav, Sriracha, all our spices, just all those little things that you want to have at your fingertips when you're cooking. Tucked in here, guys, is another Red Vision system. So I love this, that I can be on either side of the truck and I can turn everything on. I can turn the speaker off from this side, I can turn the speaker on, turn all the lights on, fridges on and off. I can turn the inverter on from this side, which is extremely handy. Inverter on when I'm cooking. Here, we've got the world famous barista station. Gone the Sunbeam, guys. Let's talk coffee machines. Coffee machines in a car. This was a big no-no when we first put one in the 79 about 3 years ago. Since then, it's become almost a standard appliance in a lot of people's touring four-wheel drives. So we don't cop too much shit about the coffee machine anymore, but just for nostalgia, throw some comments in there. I think Nav wants to go to a bigger unit. He's not happy with this one apparently. But anyway, we got the slide out pantry here, guys. This is where we put all our bigger, bulkier items. This was the microwave compartment on the last vehicle. This time we've changed it up a little bit. I never used the microwave. It was complete overkill. You know, you may love using microwaves and you can choose to do it. For me, we didn't use it, so it got axed. So bulk storage in here. Once again, we're still getting that ready. If you sneak around this side, we've got all the important things, paper towel, wipes, and instead of putting a microwave up here, guys, we've gone with our bigger pots and pans. Nice little shelf in here, but I found we didn't really have a good spot for them. We got more storage back here. So this is really just to load up the pantry when you're going on one of these big trips, right? You can never have enough space for all the food and bits and pieces. Now, this is where the magic happens, guys. The slide out kitchen setup from GCI Tray Tech. It was incredible touring last year. Slide this one out. Double induction cooktop right here, cooking spaghetti, cooking tacos, it's all we cook, so it comes in really handy. But it is a double induction cooktop. Nice little slide out cutlery drawer here, knives, forks, a couple of other bits and pieces. Slide that one back in, guys. Here we've got a bit of a prep bench and then also the pop down kitchen sink. So I can run the hose straight off the back, plug it in here, do all the washing up. Or Nav can do the washing up while I'm having a beer, whatever works. Here, have a look at this. 2 seconds, that goes up. Bulk storage with all my pots, pans. Look at the size of the pans we're able to store up in here. Absolutely massive. So I got all my bowls, we got this here, we're cooking, we're prepping. I come around the back, I slide this out, I've got my other prep bench, and this is the kitchen setup. All under the awning if we want. The best touring setup I've ever used. And to be honest, I'm yet to see a better one. If you've got a better one, by all means, give us a look. We did 30,000 kilometers living from our truck. It's been tested, it's been proven, and I absolutely love it and rate this setup immensely. So guys, there you go. There's not really much else on this side. Obviously you can see we've got the biggest storage because I did just shorten up this kitchen a little bit. If you've got any suggestions that you think will make this even better, rip in the comments, let me know guys. I'm always open to feedback. I've found this works, we've tried it, we've tested it, it's practical, it's simple, it's easy, and that's what you want when you're living on the road day in, day out. So there you go, a proper walk around on the single cab 2500 guys. Is there anything you think we should add to this? There's one or two other little things that we're gonna do, but you'll have to find out what they are next week because you'll see us take it on a shakedown trip. We tow the tinny up, we have a cracking weekend, so make sure you tune in next week for the shakedown trip. I could not be happier with the final project. I just want to thank everyone that's been involved, the sponsors that do help us out, and most of all, you guys for following along on the adventures. So there's another one. Let us know in the comments where we should take this truck. It's definitely going to Cape York. I can tell you that now, but if there's anywhere else you'd like to see it, let us know in the comments. That's it. We're getting out there. We're going to go enjoy this thing. Till next time, get out and enjoy the Explore life. All right.